Welcome back to another immersive episode of the English Hour. I'm Sophia, your host, and I'm thrilled to be joined again by the one and only Jacob. Jacob, how are you doing today?
Hey Sophia, I'm doing really well, thanks. Excited to be here again. These long chats are starting to feel like therapy, relaxing, insightful, and full of discovery.
That's such a nice way to put it. I totally agree. Our audience loves how naturally our conversations flow. So today, I thought we could go freestyle. Just talk about whatever comes to mind, and let the conversation guide us.
Freestyle sounds fun. No agenda, no script, just pure thought. Maybe we could start with something light, like childhood memories.
Ooh, I love that. Okay, I'll go first. I used to climb mango trees in my grandmother's backyard. Every summer, it became my mission to pick the ripest mango without falling. Did you have any similar adventures?
That's awesome. I remember riding my bike down this ridiculously steep hill near my house. My friends and I would race, and I swear, I had no fear back then, no helmet, just vibes.
That sounds both fun and terrifying. Kids have this wild bravery, right? Like, the kind of courage adults would call reckless.
Exactly. As we grow older, fear sneaks in. We start calculating everything: risks, consequences, outcomes. Sometimes I miss that fearless version of myself.
Do you think we lose that fearlessness because of experience or because of pressure?
That's a deep one. I think it's both. Experience teaches us lessons, sometimes painful ones, and society adds this layer of expectations: what's safe, what's right, what's grown up.
So true. And that makes me think about creativity. Do you believe creativity fades as we age, or do we just stop making time for it?
I'd say we still have it, it just gets buried. I mean, look at how many adults say, I wish I could draw, or I used to write poems. The spark never dies, but life's noise makes it harder to hear.
Wow. That's beautifully said. I think we need to give ourselves permission to play again. Be silly, be curious, make things without needing them to be perfect.
100%. Perfectionism is such a creativity killer. Sometimes I force myself to write badly on purpose just to break the pressure.
I do something similar when I speak to myself in different accents while cleaning. It's weird, but it makes chores fun and keeps my brain flexible.
That's hilarious. I've done that too, usually British or Australian. Suddenly I'm narrating my laundry as if I'm in a BBC documentary.
Here we observe the elusive sock, hiding beneath the dryer in its natural habitat.
A rare sighting indeed. Will it rejoin its pair? Only time will tell.
I can't stop laughing. This kind of silliness really is good for the soul. We should never grow out of that.
Completely agree. And, this connects to something I've been thinking about: how much we underestimate the power of daily joy. Little things.
Like having a cup of tea with your favorite mug, or dancing in the kitchen.
Yes, those tiny rituals that remind us life isn't just about milestones, it's about moments.
That's beautiful. Okay. Let's pivot a little. What's something you've changed your mind about in the past 5 years?
Whoa, good question. I used to believe success was all about status, titles, money, recognition. But now, I think it's about peace. Waking up not dreading your day. That's success to me.
That's powerful. I think I've changed my mind about people. I used to think people were mostly self-centered, but now I realize most people just want to be seen, heard, and loved.
Yes, empathy changes everything. Once you look at someone through the lens of what's hurting them, your judgment softens.
That's so true. Speaking of judgment, how do you deal with criticism?
Depends on the kind. Constructive criticism, I welcome it. But toxic criticism, I try to remember it says more about them than about me.
That's wise. I think I used to internalize every bit of feedback, good or bad. But now I try to filter it through my own values.
It's like that quote. You're not as good as they say, and you're not as bad either. Staying grounded is key.
I love that. Let's get philosophical for a bit. Do you believe everything happens for a reason?
Ah, the classic debate. I think some things happen randomly, but we give them meaning. The meaning gives us comfort, a story to hold on to.
So you believe we assign meaning rather than it being pre-written?
Mostly, yes. But I also think some connections, some events feel too aligned to be random. Like, They change us in ways we couldn't have imagined.
I get that. I've had moments that felt like the universe nudging me. Not forcing, but guiding.
Exactly. Like signs you only notice in hindsight.
Yes. Like reading a book at the exact moment you needed its message, or meeting someone right when you felt lost.
Life has its poetry, doesn't it?
That's a beautiful way to put it. Okay. Random shift. What's a guilty pleasure you're not actually guilty about?
Ooh. I'd say singing 2000s pop songs at full volume while driving. No shame. Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, all of it.
Iconic. Mine is rewatching cheesy romantic comedies. Especially when I need comfort. There's something about predictable happy endings that soothes my soul.
Absolutely. Life is unpredictable enough. We need those guaranteed happy endings sometimes.
I couldn't agree more. Alright, I want to ask you a fun one now. If you could instantly master one new skill, what would it be?
Playing the piano, I've always wanted to sit down and just lose myself in music. What about you?
For me, it would be painting. I admire how painters express emotion through color and texture. It's like a silent language.
That's beautiful. Conversations like this feel like painting with words.
Oh wow, that just gave me chills. Yes. We're creating something with every sentence. A shared canvas of thought.
That's what makes this podcast special. It's not scripted, it's a living conversation. People connect with that.
I hope so. I really hope our listeners feel like they're part of it too. Like they're right here with us, chatting over coffee.
I think they do. That's the magic of voice, it brings people close, even from far away.
Jacob, you always manage to turn a simple idea into something poetic.
I could say the same about you. This balance between deep and light, hearted topics, it's refreshing.
Speaking of light, hearted, if you could live in any fictional universe, which one would you pick?
Harry Potter, hands down. I mean, come on, wands, spells, flying broomsticks. Yes, please?
Same, I always wanted to go to Hogwarts. I'd totally be in Ravenclaw. What house would you be in?
Probably Gryffindor. Brave, sometimes reckless, definitely fits.
Ha, that tracks. Alright, let's dive into something a bit deeper now. Alright. Let's dive into something a bit deeper now. What do you think is the biggest illusion people have about happiness?
I think a big one is the belief that happiness is a destination. Like, once I get this job, or once I move to that city, or find the perfect partner, then I'll be happy.
Yes. When? Then. Trap. It delays joy. I used to fall into that too, constantly chasing a better tomorrow instead of appreciating today.
Exactly. I think happiness is more of a habit than a goal. It's in the way we treat ourselves, how we respond to life's little moments.
That reminds me of something I read once. Gratitude turns what we have into enough.
I love that quote. Gratitude really is like a lens. When we focus on what's good, it amplifies. And when we dwell on what's missing, even abundance feels empty.
So true. And speaking of abundance, let's talk about digital life. Do you think social media adds to or takes away from our well-being?
Oof, complicated question. It's both. It connects us, informs us, inspires us, but it can also make us feel inadequate, anxious, or constantly distracted.
Yes, like it gives us this constant stream of comparison. Even if we don't want to compare, we end up doing it subconsciously.
Exactly. I think the key is intentional use. Ask yourself, why am I opening this app? Am I here to connect or to escape?
That's a great practice. I sometimes set timers or even take entire weekends off just to reset.
That's smart. I started curating my feed, unfollowing accounts that make me feel drained, and following ones that uplift or educate me.
That's so empowering. Taking control of your digital diet. Because just like food, what we consume online affects our mental health.
100%. Okay, shifting gears, what's a book that changed your life?
Ah, that's a tough one. But I'd say The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. It reminded me that our personal legend, our purpose, is always whispering to us.
That's such a good one. For me, it was Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. It taught me that even in suffering, we can find purpose.
That book is powerful. It shows how perspective can literally change the experience of life.
Yes. And how meaning isn't something we find, it's something we create.
That's profound. Okay, Quick question: do you think people can truly change?
I do. But they have to want to. Change takes awareness, intention, and a willingness to sit with discomfort.
So true. I've seen people transform completely not because they were forced to, but because they chose growth.
Exactly. I always say pain pushes until purpose pulls. People change when the old way becomes too painful to stay in.
That's so well said. Growth often comes wrapped in discomfort.
Yup. It rarely feels good in the moment, but in hindsight, it's what shaped us.
Speaking of growth, let's talk about relationships. What's something you think every healthy relationship needs?
Safe communication. If you can talk about anything, really talk, without fear of judgment or backlash, that's a strong foundation.
Totally agree. For me, it's emotional honesty. Being able to say, "This hurt me," or "I feel insecure," without pretending everything is fine.
Yes, that kind of honesty builds trust, and trust makes love feel safe.
Safe love. I like that. Love that doesn't make you anxious or unsure.
Exactly. Love that feels like home, not a battlefield.
That should be the standard, not the exception.
Preach. Okay, I've got one for you. What's a fear you've overcome?
Public speaking, believe it or not. I used to tremble just introducing myself in meetings. Now here I am hosting a podcast.
That's amazing. What helped you overcome it?
Repetition and reframing. I stopped seeing it as performing and started seeing it as sharing. That made all the difference.
That's gold. For me, it was fear of failure. I used to avoid trying things I wasn't immediately good at.
Oh, I've been there. Perfectionism disguised as fear.
Yes, now I try to fail fast. The quicker I fail, the quicker I learn.
That's such a growth mindset. And it takes courage to live that way.
It does. But it's worth it. Okay. Another deep one. What's something you're still learning to accept about yourself?
I'd say my sensitivity. For years, I saw it as a weakness. But now I'm learning it's actually a strength.
I relate to that so much. I used to think I was too emotional. But being emotionally attuned is a superpower in the right context.
Yes, it makes us better friends, partners, even creators.
Absolutely. And the world needs more people who feel deeply.
Let's normalize sensitivity. It's not fragility, it's awareness.
Beautifully said. Okay? Here's a wild card. What's one question you wish people would ask you more often?
I love that. I think I'd say, what lights you up? It's so much deeper than, what do you do?
That's a great one. I'd go with, what's something you've never said out loud but think about often?
Ooh, that's powerful. It invites vulnerability.
Exactly. We all carry unsaid things. Sometimes we just need the right space to release them.
I hope this podcast feels like that space for someone listening.
Me too. These conversations are like soft landings for hard thoughts.
Yes, that's going in our quote book, by the way.
Haha, please do. We should totally publish one someday. Wisdom from the English Hour.
I'd love that. Okay, one last question before we switch it up again. What's something you've learned recently that surprised you?
I learned that trees actually communicate underground through their root systems using fungi. Isn't that wild?
Yes, the Wood Wide Web. It's incredible. Nature is so much more intelligent than we give it credit for.
Seriously. It makes you realize how interconnected everything is.
Just like us. Interconnected whether we see it or not. Speaking of interconnectedness, Jacob, have you ever felt a strong connection with a place, like a city or a natural spot?
Oh, definitely. There's this small coastal town I visited once. It wasn't even that well known, but something about the air, the quiet waves, the kindness of the people, I felt like I belonged.
I love that. It's like some places speak to your soul, not in words but in feelings.
Exactly. It wasn't about the sights, it was the energy. And you?
For me, it's a forest near where I grew up. Every time I go back, it's like the trees remember me. There's a stillness there that resets everything inside.
Wow, that's beautiful. Nature really holds memories in a way we don't always understand.
Yes, and it asks for nothing in return. It just lets us be.
That's rare. Most things in life feel like an exchange. But nature, it's just presence.
Pure presence. Speaking of which, do you ever meditate?
I do, actually. Not as regularly as I'd like, but I Try to sit quietly each morning before I touch my phone or talk to anyone.
That's a powerful routine. I do something similar 10 minutes of silence, just observing my thoughts.
It's amazing how loud the mind can be when you finally sit still.
So true. It's like turning off all the noise and suddenly hearing 1,000 whispers at once.
And most of them aren't even true, they're just old thoughts replaying.
Yes, it's helped me learn not to believe everything I think.
That's such an important realization. Thoughts are not facts, they're just weather passing through the sky of your mind.
I love that metaphor. Cloudy days come, but the sky remains.
Exactly. Okay, switching it up with something small that brings you big joy.
Miwam's making tea in the early morning, barefoot, windows open. That quiet moment before the world wakes up.
That's such a vibe. For me, it's when I find a song that perfectly matches my mood. Like, it understands me.
Yes, music can say what we don't have words for.
It really can. It's like an emotional translator.
I once cried listening to a violin solo, and I had no idea why. It just hit something deep.
That's the magic of it. No lyrics, no explanation, just feeling.
That's art at its purest, isn't it?
Totally. Speaking of art, do you create anything outside of your work?
I journal a lot. Sometimes it turns into poetry, but I never share it. It's just for me.
That's powerful. There's something sacred about creating without the pressure of showing.
Yes, it keeps it honest. What about you?
I sketch, mostly rough drawings in notebooks, faces, hands, random shapes. It's more meditative than creative, honestly.
That's so cool. Art as a release, not a product.
Exactly. It's like letting my hands think for me.
I love that idea. Okay, tell me this, what's one thing you're currently unlearning?
That success has to look a certain way. I'm unlearning the idea that it's all about titles or income.
That's such an important one. Success can be quiet, internal.
Yes. Sometimes success is waking up without anxiety, or saying no when everything in you wants to people please.
I feel that deeply. I'm unlearning the need to prove my worth, to anyone, especially to myself.
That's a journey, but such a freeing one.
It really is. Okay. Curveball, what's something you're irrationally confident about?
Haha, honestly. My parallel parking. I could park a boat between two scooters.
Oh wow, we've got a parking ninja. I'm irrationally confident about guessing the endings of movies.
Oh, you're one of those predicting twists in the first 20 minutes.
Guilty, my friends hate watching thrillers with me.
That's hilarious. We all need one slightly absurd superpower.
Yes, it keeps life interesting. Speaking of interesting, what's the most interesting fact you've learned recently?
Okay, get this, octopuses have 3 hearts and their blood is blue.
That's amazing, nature is seriously next level.
I know. And did you know crows can remember human faces and hold grudges?
I've heard that. So basically, be nice to crows, or they'll tell their friends.
Exactly. Never cross a crow. They've got the real social network.
Haha, okay, one more, what's one ordinary thing you think is actually magical?
Breathing. Honestly, the fact that it just happens nonstop, keeping us alive.
That's so true. Breathing is the most taken for granted miracle.
And yet, when we focus on it just one breath, it brings us right into the now.
Yes, instant presence. For me, it's laughter. Like, think about it, we make strange sounds from joy. Isn't that wild?
Haha, when you put it that way, it is. But it's also one of the most beautiful things we do.
Breaks tension. Brings light into heaviness.
Exactly, laughter is medicine that tastes like fun.
I love that. Okay, I've got more questions. Jacob, but I want to make sure you're still good to keep chatting.
Always, these conversations are like therapy without the awkward couch.
Haha, exactly. Let's keep it going then. Alright. Since we're getting all cozy with these deep topics, let me ask you this, what's a lesson life had to teach you the hard way?
That not everyone will understand your journey, and that's okay. I used to bend over backwards trying to explain myself, to be understood. But sometimes you have to walk your path alone for a while.
That hits home. I've had to learn that people only see you through the lens of their own experience. You can't force them to see the full picture.
Exactly. And sometimes it's not even about misunderstanding, it's just misalignment. And that's not wrong. It's just different.
Yes, I used to think I had to keep everyone in my life happy, like I was juggling glass balls. But some of them were meant to be put down.
That's a powerful image, and what a relief it is when you realize not every ball is made of glass. Some are rubber, they'll bounce back.
That's so true. And the ones that shatter, maybe they weren't meant to be held for so long anyway.
Amen to that. Speaking of letting go, is there a belief you've outgrown recently?
Yes. I used to believe that if something was meant for me, it would never be hard. But now I realize that sometimes, the most meaningful things come wrapped in difficulty.
That's such an evolution of thought. We grow up thinking ease equals alignment, but growth often requires discomfort.
Exactly. It's like climbing a mountain. The view is worth it, but your legs will burn.
And sometimes you don't even know the view you're climbing toward. You just trust the climb.
Wow, that's deep. Okay. Switching gears for a second, what's something fun you've always wanted to try but haven't yet?
Oh, I've always wanted to take a hot air balloon ride over somewhere like Cappadocia, just floating in silence above the earth.
That sounds magical. I'd love to do that too. For me, it's learning how to play the drums. Just go full rock star for a day.
Oh, I can totally see you on stage, hair flying, sticks in the air.
Haha, right? Just for the joy of it. No audience needed, just the beat.
It's funny how the things we dream of don't have to be practical. They just make our hearts jump a little.
Yes, exactly. That spark, that's what life is about. Alright, here's a curious one. What's a question you wish people asked you more often?
Maybe. What makes you feel most alive? Instead of, what do you do?
Oh, I love that. That really shifts the focus from function to feeling.
Yeah, what do you do? Question always feels like it's about productivity. But asking what makes someone feel alive? That's an invitation to connect.
That's beautiful. For me, I wish people asked, what are you healing from? Not to be intrusive, but to understand each other better.
Wow, that's brave. Imagine how much gentler we'd treat people if we carried that awareness.
Right? We're all carrying something. A little curiosity and kindness could go a long way.
That reminds me, do you think vulnerability is a strength?
Without a doubt. It's the rawest form of courage. Showing up without guarantees.
Couldn't agree more. It's easy to wear armor, but taking it off, that's where the magic happens.
Yes. And it invites others to take theirs off too. Like, it's safe here. We're just human.
That's the kind of space I want to create in my friendships and relationships.
Same here. Honest, messy, real.
Messy can be beautiful, don't you think?
Absolutely. Life isn't meant to be polished. It's meant to be lived.
Yes, and the cracks. That's where the light gets in.
Oh, I love that quote. Leonard Cohen, right?
A poet with soul.
All right. Jacob, let's go a little lighter now. What's a silly childhood memory that still makes you laugh?
Oh man, okay, when I was 8, I tried to impress my cousins by doing a karate move off the couch. I yelled, "Heya," and ended up kicking the lamp. It broke, I cried. My cousins clapped.
Ha ha ha, that's so adorable. Childhood logic is unmatched.
Seriously, what about you?
I once put glue on my little brother's eyebrows because I thought it would make them grow faster. I told him it was eyebrow fertilizer. He believed me. We had to shave one off when it dried.
Oh no, poor guy. But genius idea though, you were a little scientist.
I was just slightly misinformed. But hey, the creativity was there.
You were an innovator in the eyebrow department.
Haha, thank you. Okay. Let me ask this, what's a smell that instantly brings back a memory?
The smell of old books. It reminds me of my grandfather's study. He'd let me sit in there while he read. And even though I didn't understand the words, I felt smart just being near them.
That's beautiful. For me, it's fresh laundry on a sunny day. It brings me back to helping my mom hang clothes outside and running through the sheets like a maze.
I can feel the sunshine in that memory.
It's warm, isn't it? All right, Jacob. If you had to write a letter to your future self, say, 10 years from now, what's the first sentence?
I hope you never forgot how to laugh at yourself.
That's perfect. Mine would be, are you still chasing joy more than perfection?
Oh, that's a powerful check. In.
It really is. Because it's easy to fall back into perfectionism when no one's watching.
Yeah, it's a sneaky thing. But joy, that one's loud. You can't fake it.
And when you find it, you know. Your whole being knows.
True joy feels like sunlight through the cracks.
Or dancing alone with no music, just the rhythm inside.
That's it. All right, Sophia, what's something you'd like to experience for the very first time again?
The first time I saw snow, I was like 10, and it felt like the world had been touched by magic.
Yes, I'd love to relive the first time I heard live music in a small venue. That vibration in your chest, the crowd singing every word,
Goosebumps. That first moment is always so pure.
and unforgettable. Even if you don't remember the exact details, you remember the feeling.
The feeling stays. Long after the moment is gone.
Exactly, that's how you know it mattered.
I love how some moments just stay etched in your soul. Even if the memory fades around the edges.
Yeah, it's like the universe leaving its fingerprint on your heart.
Wow, that's such a poetic way to put it. Speaking of fingerprints, what do you think is your unique stamp on the world?
Maybe the way I listen. I've had people tell me that talking to me feels like being seen without judgment. I guess that's something I try to offer.
That's a gift, Jacob. Not everyone listens to understand, some just listen to reply.
Totally. I think when we truly listen, we help others hear themselves more clearly too.
That's beautiful. I think my stamp might be the way I encourage people to dream, to believe they're worthy of more.
You absolutely radiate that. You make people feel like their dreams are valid, even the big, scary ones.
Thank you. I think the world needs more dreamers who aren't afraid to try.
And more people like you who remind others they're allowed to be both a work in progress and a masterpiece.
Oh, I love that. Let's talk about that being a work in progress. What's something you're still working on within yourself?
Patience, definitely. With myself mostly. I tend to want growth to happen overnight, but life doesn't work that way.
Oh, I relate to that so much. I've had to learn that rushing the process won't lead to better results, it just leads to burnout.
Exactly. I'm learning to trust the slow seasons. They're just as important as the fast-paced ones.
Sometimes the quiet seasons are where the real transformation happens, even if it's not visible yet.
Like roots growing underground. You don't see them, but they're everything.
Yes, deep unseen growth. All right, let's flip that. What's something you're proud of right now?
Honestly, I'm proud that I've started saying no more. Not out of fear, but out of self-respect.
That's huge. Boundaries are love in action.
Absolutely. What about you? What are you proud of?
I'm proud that I've learned to rest without guilt. I used to feel bad if I wasn't constantly productive.
That's such a hard one to unlearn. But rest is necessary, not lazy.
Exactly. Rest is revolutionary in a culture that glorifies hustle.
I'm going to quote that somewhere. Rest is revolutionary. I love it.
Haha, take it. Let's talk about something random now. What's a small thing that brings you disproportionate joy?
Freshly baked bread. The smell, the warmth, the first bite, bliss.
Oh yes, that's heaven. For me, it's finding a forgotten $10 bill in a coat pocket.
That's a mini jackpot moment.
Right. It's like the universe giving you a high five.
Okay, let me ask you this. What's a quote or phrase that has stuck with you over the years?
Do it scared. It reminds me that courage isn't about not being afraid, it's about moving forward anyway.
I love that. Mine is, you don't have to set yourself on fire to keep others warm.
Oh wow, that one hits. Such a powerful reminder to honor your own energy.
Yeah, we're not meant to burn out for the sake of everyone else's comfort.
Exactly. Self-care isn't selfish, it's sustainable.
Sophia, what do you think your younger self would say if she saw you now?
She'd probably be shocked and proud. I think she'd say, "You made it through things I didn't think we could survive."
That's so moving. I think mine would say, thank you for not giving up on us.
Oh Jacob, that gave me chills.
It's weird to think about how far we've come, even if the journey still feels messy.
Messy is real, and real is beautiful.
Speaking of beauty, where do you find beauty when life feels heavy?
Nature, for sure. Trees don't rush, they just are. It grounds me.
Same. Or looking at the stars. It reminds me how small my worries are in the vastness of it all.
The stars really do put things into perspective. Like the universe has been around for billions of years and yet, here we are.
Breathing, existing, being.
And somehow, that's enough.
It is.
Jacob, I was thinking about how we measure success. It used to be all about achievements for me, degrees, promotions, milestones.
Same here. I used to think if I just checked enough boxes, I'd finally feel fulfilled.
But over time, I realized real success feels more like peace. Like waking up and not dreading the day.
Yes, that's such an underrated kind of success, inner peace. Being at home with yourself.
And being able to say no to things that drain you, even if they look impressive from the outside.
That's big. I've started redefining success as alignment. Am I doing what feels true to me? Am I growing in a direction I respect?
I love that. Alignment. Such a powerful word. Do you think we all have a true direction, like a soul compass?
I think so. Even if it changes over time, there's something deep inside us that knows when we're on the right path.
Yeah. That quiet nudge that says, this is it. Or the uneasy feeling when we're off course.
I used to ignore that unease. Now I try to lean into it. It's often the best guide we have.
Absolutely. I think intuition is one of the most underappreciated forms of intelligence.
Totally agree. It's ancient wisdom living in modern bodies.
That's so poetic, Jacob. Let's talk about creativity for a minute. Where do you go when you need to feel inspired again?
Music. Always. There's something about a great melody or a well-written lyric that just resets my whole spirit.
Oh yes. Music has saved me more times than I can count. For me, it's also nature. Being outside, away from screens, just breathing.
Isn't it wild how creativity often comes in when we're doing nothing?
Right? It's like when we stop trying to force it, it flows.
I read somewhere that boredom is the birthplace of creativity. That hit me.
That makes so much sense. Some of my best ideas come when I'm just staring out a window, or taking a walk.
Or in the shower. Shower thoughts are elite.
Haha, yes. Something about running water just unlocks the brain.
Let me ask you something deeper. What's a fear you've made peace with?
I think the fear of not being liked. I used to twist myself into shapes trying to please everyone.
That's a huge one. And exhausting.
Exactly. Now I focus more on being authentic. If people connect with the real me, amazing. If not, that's okay too.
That's freedom. I think for me, it's the fear of failure. I used to avoid trying new things just so I wouldn't mess up.
Oh, I get that. Failure used to feel like a verdict, not a lesson.
But now I see it as part of the process. It's how we refine, not how we define ourselves.
Beautifully said. Let's talk relationships for a second. What's one quality you value most in a friend?
Consistency, someone who shows up even in small ways.
That's powerful. For me, it's empathy. Just being seen and felt without needing to explain everything.
Yeah. There's nothing like someone who just gets you without a long preface.
Like soul-level understanding. Those are rare but so precious.
Definitely. Do you think we become more selective with age?
I do. As we get clearer on who we are, we get clearer on who fits in our lives.
That's growth. Not cutting people off, but choosing peace over performance.
Yes. Let's shift gears. What's something you still want to learn?
I'd love to learn a new language. Something completely different from English, like Japanese or Arabic.
That's amazing. I've always wanted to learn how to play the piano. It's on my one day list.
Music is a language too, in a way.
Oh, that's beautiful. A language of emotion.
Universal beyond words.
Speaking of the universal, do you ever think about how connected we all are?
All the time. Like, even this conversation, we're sending energy and thoughts that ripple out.
Yes, I always say, we don't know who's listening right now. But something we say might be exactly what they needed to hear.
That's the magic of it. We're all connected in invisible ways.
Like threads of light stretching across time and space.
Goosebumps, you're a poet, Sophia.
Haha, maybe we both are, in our own ways.
Maybe that's what conversation really is, shared poetry.
Oh, I love that. Let's keep writing the poem then. Shared poetry. I'm going to carry that phrase with me, Jacob. There's something deeply human about it.
It's true though, isn't it? Every real conversation is like a co-written verse, raw and perfect, but real.
And in a world full of noise, real is rare. That's what makes it valuable.
You're right. There's a hunger for authenticity right now. People crave it like water.
Especially in the digital world, where everything feels filtered and rehearsed.
That's why I love podcasts like this. Long form, unscripted, deeply human.
Me too. No cuts, no edits, just presence. It's like sitting beside a fire and just being.
Speaking of being, do you ever just sit in silence, not meditating, not thinking, just being?
I do. And those moments feel like the most truthful. Like I'm meeting myself again.
Exactly. Silence can be loud in the best way. It tells you what noise drowns out,
Yes. It's where the whispers of truth live.
and sometimes that's where you hear the answer you didn't know you were asking for.
I feel like every time I stop chasing clarity, it comes on its own.
That's deep. Clarity doesn't always come with effort. Sometimes it comes with surrender.
Wow. That's one to write down. Clarity comes with surrender.
Let's put that on a shirt or a journal cover. Haha.
Haha, yes. The English are, where quotes are born.
Hey, that has a ring to it.
Jacob, can I ask something personal?
Always.
What's a moment in your life that changed you forever but quietly? Not a dramatic event, just a soft shift.
Wow. That's a powerful question. I think it was one morning years ago when I was walking alone and realized I didn't feel anxious. Just peace. No big reason. That small realization changed everything.
That's beautiful. The absence of something heavy can feel like a gift.
Yeah. It was like my body whispered, "See, you can feel safe here."
Mine was in a coffee shop. I overheard an older couple talking nothing special, but I felt this overwhelming sense of gratitude for the moment. Just sitting there. Alive.
That's the kind of moment you can't manufacture. It just lands.
Exactly. And those moments add up, don't they?
They really do. They become our quiet definitions of joy.
Yes, joy isn't loud. It's noticing the breeze, or the way your tea smells, or how someone's voice softens when they care.
That's poetry again, spoken in stillness.
You know what I've realized? Most of life's magic hides in the ordinary.
Couldn't agree more. Extraordinary isn't always huge, it's often hidden in the tiny things.
Like a look, a laugh, or the way someone says your name.
You're making me emotional, Sophia. These little things, they stay with us.
They do. Years later, we might forget the words but remember how something made us feel.
Exactly. It's the feeling that lasts. That's why being intentional matters.
Yes, intentional presence, being where your feet are.
That's the quote right there. Be where your feet are.
Another journal cover.
Definitely. We're going to start a whole merch line by the end of this episode.
Haha, I'm in. English Hour merch, conversations that clothe the soul.
That might be the best tagline ever.
Jacob, let's flip perspectives. What do you think your younger self would think of who you are now?
Well, I think he'd be proud. Not for the stuff I've done, but for how I've learned to feel.
That's powerful. Feeling is its own success.
What about you? What would younger Sophia say?
She'd be surprised, honestly. I was so timid. I think she'd look at me now and say, "You speak your truth out loud. That's brave."
That gave me chills. Speaking your truth is always brave.
And scary. But also freeing. Like you don't have to hold your breath anymore.
Yes, like you can finally exhale and just be.
I think we spend a lot of time holding ourselves together for the world.
And then we find people or places that say, "You don't have to do that here."
That's what I hope this podcast is. A place to exhale.
It is. You've created a beautiful space, Sophia.
We've created it together. And I'm so grateful for these moments.
Me too. Let's keep creating them.
Me too. Let's keep creating them.
You know, Sophia, sometimes I wonder what our conversations sound like to someone listening in maybe on a walk or curled up in bed.
I hope it feels like a warm blanket. Like someone whispering, "You're not alone."
That's exactly what it feels like. Like you've wandered into a room where your heart can take a deep breath.
And I hope that room is always open.
It is. You've made sure of that.
So have you. Your voice has guided us through so many thoughts today. Some deep, some light, but all real.
Real is the word, isn't it?
Always. That's what the English hour stands for. Not just English. Not just speaking. But feeling, thinking, being together.
Together. That's what matters. That's what lasts.
Well, my friend, we've traveled far today from mindset to memories, from silence to soul.
And I've loved every moment of it. This conversation has been a journey in itself.
Thank you, Jacob, for being here not just as a guest, but as a co-creator of this space.
Thank you, Sophia, for listening, for asking, for holding space so gently.
And to everyone listening, thank you. Thank you for giving us your time, your heart, and your ears.
We hope this time with us gave you peace, thought, maybe even a smile.
And remember, wherever you are, whatever you're facing, your story matters. Your voice matters.
Keep growing. And we'll be right here whenever you need to return.
Until next time, take care of your heart.
And don't forget to breathe.
This has been the English Hour. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Jacob. Thanks for sharing your hour with us.
We'll see you soon.